Hey, welcome back to another edition of Tarboro Coffee Talks. I'm Randy. I'm the owner of the Tarboro Coffee House. I'm here today with Nikki Mears. She's my favorite guest so far because she actually wore a name tag for me. I don't have to think, did I get her name right or not? So, Nikki, welcome to Tarboro Coffee Talks. Before we get started, though, most importantly, let's talk about what we're drinking. I just got a regular drip coffee, a little cream, a little Splenda. It's delicious. What are you drinking?
I got white chocolate mocha latte. I like the bougie stuff.
Is that what you get every time?
Yes.
Okay.
Because your girls make it the best.
They do the best. We do have the best, and so they do a fantastic job. So we're going to talk a little bit just about your background. Are you from Tarboro originally?
I'm from Tarboro, graduated from Tarboro High School in the year 2000, the best class ever, by the way. But yes, I moved away from Tarboro twice. Both times said I was never coming back, but you eat crow sometimes and you do come back because there's really not a better place to live.
Well, so what brought you back? Was it your family? Was it a job? What brought you back to Tarboro and Edgecombe County?
Family, friends, in the community.
Right.
The small town vibe is really what I love in a community. Yeah. When bad things happen to someone in this community, everybody comes together and supports them. Yeah. And you don't get that in a bigger place. There's just not that sense of community in a bigger place.
So you talk about that. What do you like most about living in Tarboro?
I like having a community that does something like this, a talk where you advertise community events that's going on, where you see people come together, and if someone has cancer or something, there's a fundraiser that no one's asked to do, someone just steps up to do. I like the community events. I like walking into a store and knowing people there. Sure.
So you have just recently kind of launched out on to your own venture, kind of real estate. Tell us how you came about and got to where you are today. What led to this part of your life?
Well, I started out for 20 years, I was a social worker. I worked in the Department of Social Services, mostly child welfare work, but I did do some work with adult services as well. And I started that career because I wanted to help people. I wanted to make a difference in the world, work with kids that were in the foster care system. That was really my love and my passion, helping those kids transition into adulthood. I started real estate about a year ago. I've been licensed for a year on the 14th of this month, actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you. And I started that because basically child neglect and poverty look the same. And one of the quickest ways out of poverty is home ownership. And there were a lot of people that I just kept talking to that had misinformation about how to make that happen. So I really started the journey to educate myself so that I could educate others on how they could become homeowners and how they could build generational wealth for their families. And then some things happened within the system that I just started to realize my values might not align with those anymore, and it was time for me to make a change. But I still wanted to do something where I was able to give back. So thankfully, real estate allows me to do that. I've helped some first-time home buyers that didn't think they could get a home. I've also helped some folks that their parents have passed away or are suffering from dementia and they needed to get rid of a family home. All of those are case management type things, similar to when I help families adopt children. It's just helping a family navigate a challenging time in their life, and so I enjoy that very much.
You're still helping people just like you were before, just in a different way. And so it's still very fulfilling to you. In life. And so that's awesome. So have you always felt like you wanted to help people? Like, has that just been a passion for you since you graduated in 2000? You survived Y2K, by the way. Congratulations.
Yes, I did.
And so has that always just been something you knew you wanted to help people?
Pretty much, even from childhood. I led a lot of charity work, did a lot of volunteer work when I was a teenager and things like that. Any career I've ever thought about has a nurturing aspect to it.
I know you're in real estate, but everybody's got an opinion. There's a void, really, a vacuum in Edgecombe County where there are a lot of folks that don't get the services they need.
Absolutely.
How do you think we make the system better in Edgecombe County to actually meet people where they are and help them, whether it's mental illness or whether it's poverty or whether it's addictions? Like, how do we make the system better?
If I knew the answer to that, I'd still be the deputy director.
Right.
But in To be honest, one thing, we need to pay attention.
Yeah.
We need to pay attention to what we're voting for when we vote public officials.
Right.
Because anything that a Department of Social Services does has to be funded, and that starts with your county commissioners.
Sure. Yeah.
So we need to pay attention to that.
Right.
We need to pay attention to where we see these people showing up in the community.
Right.
You can't undo child abuse once it happens.
Yeah.
You got to get on the preventative end.
Yeah.
And prevention of child abuse is a community effort.
Sure.
It starts with every single person in the community.
Yeah.
Preventing kids that are in foster care living in a DSS building, that's a community effort.
Yeah.
If you can't foster, you got to be able to support those foster parents in some ways.
Yeah.
So it takes community involvement, community help, and we have to look at systems and laws that are put in place, that have been put in place since the 70s and 80s, 90s, that don't work, and find a way to change those things.
I know we're pivoting off of real estate, but I think this is so vitally important. You talk about community involvement. How does one go about in the community getting involved into these areas where for the longest time we've just been told, well, it's a private thing, like you mind your own business, whatever they're doing over there do, but really we can't mind our business anymore. Like we have to. So how do you as a community member voting, you say, but how do you become an advocate for those children and for those families?
Well, there's a guardian ad litem program that's for volunteers to come and be the voice of the child when they're involved with DSS.
Right.
That's a great place to start. Anybody that wants some information about that, please contact me and I'll connect you, because there's the opportunity to do that in any county, not just Edgecombe County.
Right.
I would also say talk to the schools, talk to the supervisors that are at the Department of Social Services, talk to daycares, talk to anyone that's in a public service role in the county with which you live in, and see where they have a need.
Yeah, okay. And so it's just so interesting. I think most people just feel like they can't get involved, but they can, and there's ways for us to impact and make a difference in our communities that we often we don't think about. And it's not that people don't care. I think people care. I think it's just we get so busy in our lives and in our little circles that we don't look outside of ourselves to say, we see it, now let's do something about it. How do we help? That's incredible. Now, we were talking before we started rolling. You actually, your real estate firm or whomever you contract with, however that works, I don't know any of that, and so, but all the same, y'all are actually involved in some community products or community things right now.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm with Keller Williams Points East. The firm is out of Greenville. Okay. There are 2 other Keller Williams Points East realtors here in town. Actually 3. There's a new one. Allison Rhodes, Brandy Boyette, and Delmonica Vick are all also with my firm here in Tarboro. Right. And Keller Williams has a day called Red Day. It's their annual day of giving back. Okay. It's May 9th this year. It's a Thursday.
Mark your calendars, May the 9th.
May the 9th. Yep. Okay. On that day, a bunch of agents are going to go volunteer over in Greenville at ACEs for Autism. We're going to do a field day for the children there that have autism and go to that school. We're also collecting hygiene items, snacks, things to send care packages to troops that are deployed. Okay. And that's through troops, support our troops out of Aden. Okay. But you've been nice enough to let us use this as a donation site. So anyone that wants to donate anything, again, small hygiene items, small snacks, things of that sort that you could send to someone who's deployed, letting them know we care about them and we're thinking about them. That's right. I would be glad to pick up all those donations. You can drop them off here or you can give me a call. My phone number is 252-567-0154. I'll be glad to pick them up and get those delivered so that we can support our troops.
Fantastic. This is so awesome. So many good things. Nikki sounds like a well of information. Man, if you need to buy a house, she's the person to call. If you need to know how to engage the community as it relates to child welfare issues and things, man, she's the person to call. If you want to get involved in these issues with children with autism or supporting our troops, she's the person to call. And so we're excited. thank you for your involvement in the town of Tarboro and for making Tarboro and Edgecombe County a better place. We need people like Nikki in the world, and so we're grateful. Thank you for coming on Coffee Talk today.
Absolutely.
And
thank you for the opportunity.
I would give you an opportunity, perhaps. Is there anything else you'd want to say?
Well, I will say I know enough about those things to point someone in the right direction, and if I don't know, I know where to find things. So there are a lot of things going on right now that can help people achieve the financial goals they want.
Sure.
So no matter where you are, if you have questions, I don't want you to feel like you can't come and talk to me.
Yeah.
I actually took a really long time personally to buy my first house because I got a lot of bad advice from someone, and then I became fearful and felt like I would never achieve that goal. It just felt overwhelming. I don't ever want anyone to feel that way. I want them to feel like they can come and talk to me no matter what their current situation is. If it takes you a month to get there or 2 years to get there, I'll help you navigate that process. May 9th, I'm also at 6:30. This will be in Greenville, but we're going to have another one here in Tarboro as well. But we'll be hosting a home buying seminar just to give education to people. This will be at the Telco Credit Union that's in Greenville. Just to give you information, answer your questions about what it takes to buy a home, what due diligence is, what earnest money is, what happens during an inspection phase, so you can be prepared. The more knowledge you have, the more power you have in achieving your goal. So I just want to educate and provide that knowledge to people when I can. I think there's a lot of good that can be done. I just think people don't know where to start. So whatever I can do, I've helped people adopt children. There's a big need for that. If you have any questions about adoption, any questions about buying homes. And when I was recruiting for foster parents all these years, I had a lot of people say, oh, I would if I just had more space. Well, if you don't have a big enough house, I'll be glad to sell yours and help you buy another one so I can fill it up with some foster kids for you along the way too. But you know, there's a lot of information out there. You just got to know where to find it. And if you need help with that, please call me and I'll be glad to help you.
All right. Well, Nikki, thank you. On behalf of Ryan Jones and myself, we're so grateful. Ryan's behind the camera, by the way. On behalf of Ryan and myself, thank you for coming in to Coffee Talk today and having this conversation. As always, we'd love for you to be a part of Tarboro Coffee Talk. And so if you would, there's going to be a link for a Google form. Get your contact information to us. We'd love to have you come in and talk about how you're making a difference in Tarboro and Edgecombe County. As always, we hope to see you at the Coffee House soon. God bless you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.